Hi everybody, this is Joe Amlong with the Open Concept Lab team, and today we want to talk about some of the great achievements and growth that we've achieved in the year 2022. First, let's give a reminder of what we're aiming to achieve here. OCL sees terminology as the core to an effective healthcare system, and so we aim to provide a platform and encode those best practices that support the deployment and implementation of terminology. We aim to be interoperable, community-driven, and standards-driven so that we can fill those gaps in terminology and tooling, particularly for underserved settings. I'd also like to remind everybody about the OCL community that we work with. We work with implementers and consumers of terminology, but also many more of those. We work with aid organizations who are aiming to fund terminology implementation efforts. We work with the publishers of terminologies and the guideline authors for computable guidelines, and with subject matter experts and many, many more. We also support quite a few projects like the WHO Smart Guidelines, OpenMRS Concept Dictionary Management, PEPFAR's monitoring, evaluation, and reporting work, and also terminology service implementers in general, particularly in the context of the OpenHIE community. The current state of the OCL toolkit is as follows. We of course have our terminology service that is Fire enabled and a core REST API. We have our term browser, which is that customizable tool for searching and visualizing content in OCL. We also have the OpenMRS Dictionary Manager, which is specialized for managing OpenMRS concept dictionaries. All of these tools come together in OCL Online, where you can use these tools in the cloud along with the global community, and they come preloaded with key terminologies. We have many highlights from the year 2022, but I want to give a quick summary of them here before we go into further detail. Our OCL Fire core has now had native Fire support built into it, and we have a SVCM compatible term browser that can connect to any Fire terminology server. We're preparing for the publication of all Fire terminology resources. We've also been working with communities like CDC and OpenMRS, such as the HIV reference implementation on OCL. We also work to have OCL bundled with OpenMRS version 3, and the term browser is becoming that more specialized tool for OpenMRS dictionary management. We also been preparing ourselves for smart dictionaries so that we have advanced terminology features in the API, but also a user interface that makes it easy to understand and to use these features. We're also enhancing the community's terminology workflows. With WHO and Smart Guidelines, we're progressing to have a WHO-hosted instance, and we publish Smart Guideline terminologies on OCL Online, plus ICD-10. We've also piloted term browser integration with the ICD-11 Fire service. As far as the community, we've experienced lots of growth, but some highlights are the Kenya's National Health Data Dictionary implementation. We've also seen a lot of growth in the OpenMRS community, and we're hosting regular community events and showcases and user feedback sessions. Before this year, we heard a lot about how people struggle with standards terminologies. People want to try to use OCL, but they don't know where to start. They don't know where to ask questions. How do they keep their collections up to date? How do they work with projects like WHO Smart Guidelines and PEPFAR metadata? These are all the kind of questions we've been aiming to address this year. After all of our work this year, we're actually hearing a lot better things. We have heard from some of our members that you can now see the power of OCL and you can do a lot of tweaking, and the team's been fun to work with. We've also heard that there are now dictionary management users in every continent, except Antarctica. And we've also heard that the concept dictionary implementations are going well as OCL powers these national level data dictionaries. Our team is also experiencing a lot of growth, as you can see in our picture from our first OCL official workshop. This core team is growing, and the community around it is growing also. 2022 was OCL's Year of the User, where we were aiming to embrace user experience and design in everything that we do. We've seen new UX team member come into our team, we've created OCL user feedback groups, we've created user personas to particularly focus our efforts on, and we've got design initiatives such as our organization overviews, help text, visualizations of mappings, and many more. I want to take some time now to dive deep into some of these achievements across our many initiatives. Let's start with some achievements in the OCL Toolkit. We've of course done a lot of exposure of the latest API features, including dynamic references to include or exclude content in collections, collection expansions, canonical URL support, and auto-assignment of concept IDs. We've made many improvements in Term Browser's user experience for our terminology consumers and dictionary managers to help them understand best practices, to find good content, and to make the best of OCL's features. We've integrated key features from OpenMRS's dictionary manager, and we've had a lot of core enhancements such as technical upgrades and Fire core developments, plus some basic browsing and operating of Fire terminology server resources. Now, I want to walk you through some good examples and some quick screenshots of some of the enhancements we've made to our tools this year. The Organization Overview feature lets you create a custom branded view into an organization's content. It makes a good home for the content that is published on OCL Online. Our new Split View helps you to maintain context as you browse content. You can find what you're looking for, click on a concept, and see its details without losing your place on the page. Our new Operations panel, still in beta, helps you to perform technical operations from the web, like Fire operations like a $ lookup. Our hierarchy navigation feature makes it so that you can browse through hierarchical content, either in a tabular view or in a graphical view. We've also redesigned our forms for creating sources and collections, so it'll be easier to you to figure out which settings will work best for you. Adding mappings has never been quicker. You can map your content to standard codes and create question-answer pairs in seconds. Now let's jump over to the achievements we made in our services area. We've made lots of improvements to OCL Online, such as performance enhancements for all your terminology import, searching needs. We've added single sign-on via Keycloak. We've had 0 down days for OCL environments, and we've upped our analytics so that there's automated infrastructure and reports. We've also published a lot of terminology content like CL, ICD-10, LOINC, SNOMED GPS, and more. We're also providing technical assistance for our partner organizations and implementers and more. Thanks to these achievements this year, there's lots of new resources that have been created in OCL Online this year. We've seen 40 or more new organizations, over 150 new user accounts, and many new sources and collections where people are gathering and creating terminology content. We wanted to highlight one of our implementing partners who have been using OCL this year with our technical assistance. Kenya has been implementing their National Health Data Dictionary using OCL, where they've been aiming to standardize concepts across their various OpenMRS implementations. Kenya's OCL instance, called the NHDD, is being set up and branded, and we're working with our partners for capacity building in these areas. We've also had a lot of achievements in our community-based initiatives. We've been putting together community events and presentations, like our office hours, our OpenHIE Terminology Service Implementer Series, our roadmap development, and more. We've also written a lot of blogs and created a lot of community educational content on YouTube and the OpenHIE Academy. We also are actively participating in other communities, like the OpenMRS Dictionary Manager Squad, the WHO Smart Guidelines groups, PEPFAR's Data Exchange and Interoperability groups, and more. We want to give a special shout out to the OpenMRS community who has collaborated with OCL to make a better product. The Dictionary Manager Squad has helped with OCL enhancements, content accomplishments, events and networking, and implementation work. They've also been doing a lot to help the community learn by writing blogs for OCL. Special thanks goes out to Saruchi Dugana, Paul Adams, and Dr. Andrew Cantor for writing these blogs and helping OCL to be a better product for the OpenMRS community and for other communities. We've been doing a lot of work to get the word out about OCL. Pictured here are just some of the events that we have presented our tools at and started to make connections with the global community. Now, before we sign off, I want to give a glimpse at what's coming in 2023. We have multiple initiatives to improve OCL's tools, to enhance our services, and to engage our users like never before. For more details, see our community roadmap on our website. In particular, you can look forward to the Smart Dictionaries initiative, where we're creating a smarter OCL to help you to maintain and use terminologies as they evolve over time. It helps to reduce the administrative burden and make terminology content more useful in the real world. It's designed to work with many of our initiatives, such as those listed here, and this vision will continue to be built out in the coming months. We very much look forward to hearing your voice as part of the Smart Dictionary initiative. That's all for now, and thanks to everybody for the great year.